Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got quite a nice rack through an N I would have preponed. And there could be some other bingos here. I'm not seeing a 7. So what if my opponent changes? I'm not sure about poped. I don't think that's good. Okay, he doesn't change. Can't see anything with the V. What about the D? No, can't see anything with that. And I can't see anything with the I. Now, vid takes an A in front. It takes an E after it. So what about playing down column 10? Nothing goes before or after the V, so I can't have parallel plays overlapping the V. So I could play Poep. And that's quite a nice rack leave. Well, the B and C don't go great together. There could be some 8s here. I'm not seeing a 7. But I do need to consider the floaters. Can't see anything with the V. C Boyd and bodice through the I as 6-letter plays. And nothing with the P, so not a great rack and not much on offer. The V is quite a blocky tile to play as the leading tile of the first move. V-Day takes an O after it, which I have. Now, a few new floaters to consider. The F doesn't look too promising. What about the A? Can't see anything there. Or with the U. But I do have quite a nice parallel spot here. So do I have anything which fits the bill? What can go after the U? Well, the R can, and that's it. So I could play beer. And I think I might. Rack leave not a disaster. 29 points. Just wondering if I can extend it. And I don't think I can. And what about playing down from the R? So I could play recode. I think this is preferable. Recode provides a good scoring spot in column 13, whereas A takes nothing after it, so I'm only providing row A. I'm going with this. Quite balanced, no duplicates. But again, high scoring tiles which don't go well together, and therefore I don't have a bingo. Certainly not a 7. There could be an 8 here. Not many floaters to consider, pretty much just the I. Still all 4 S's and both blanks to come. Now, do I have anything in column A? Slightly distracted by my opponent's wonderful picture, which I think we can make bigger. Yeah, I think we'll leave it smaller. So anything in row A beginning with the B. Well, I've got bolt and block, but I'm really looking to play off the F. I could play block, B-L-O-C. The reason for playing off the F rather than the C isn't simply that the F may score more. It's because the F is a less bingo-y tile than the C. The C is quite a good tile to have on your rack. Now, in terms of these 2-letter sets, the UR is probably the most useful, but I'm not seeing anything. Column 12 is a useful bingo lane, hooking PA. Poep only takes an S after it. V-Day takes nothing in front and only an O after it. Okay, so block remains available. Do I have anything better than that? Only 2 tiles played off by my opponent, so he could be close to a bingo. Now, does he take an O after it, in which case I will consider column 14 plays. I can check. I don't think it does. It doesn't. Great, I can ignore that. It's just an S. I can't see anything with the B and the F. Can't see anything in column 11. Don't have a bingo through the I. Well, I may be missing something, but I'm going with block. Pretty good. That looks close to a bingo. Through an E, I would have Telford and possibly Felted. Now, again, the I looks like the most useful floater. But I don't think... filtered. I have filtered. Great. I was about to say that I don't think that re-lifted is good, and I don't. But filtered is good. Stays available. Fantastic. So, this should put me in the lead. Filtered for 63. And I draw the J. Close to Gillian's, not close enough. I have N join beginning with either of the E's, which is quite nice, turning over tiles. Useful with both blanks still out there. And turning over tiles isn't... It's not just a case of turning over tiles to get to the blank. You need to be doing that on a rack which doesn't have a rack leave worth keeping, such as this one. The S is good, and maybe SIN would be a decent rack leave, but there's no good 4 or 5 letter rack leave here. Even something like Lions, even though the tiles are bingo-y, there's no E, and it's just not a great rack leave. So it's racks like this that you would consider turnover as being a good thing to get the blank, and also to increase score. There's no really nice spot for the J next to a premium square. I have a 60-point lead, which is pretty slender, and bear in mind my opponent did play HM, which looked fishy. He may well have then drawn the Q and simply played Sank to get rid of that, so he could be sitting there with a blank and a pretty good rack. And this board is quite good for bingos. There's the floaters in filtered, and there's column 12 and column 11 available for 7-letter bingos. Also bingos in column 13 beginning ME. Now, do I have anything other than enjoin? Which doesn't feel a great play. I can't see a double-double in row K. For future reference, there may be a fancy play in row H beginning video, which gets tripled. Video text, for example. The X still out there. And there may be some extensions to Sank. I know it can be extended with UE and UES, but that doesn't quite reach the triple. Well, Sankane, UAIN, does. And 3 U's to come. So that's a possibility. My opponent taking a little while on this move. He could be just wondering what the best bingo is. Or he could be close to a bingo and not want to break up a bingo-y looking rack. I still haven't seen an alternative to enjoin. Well, I've got Jot, but then the rack leave is pretty dreadful, ILNNS. So I'll be looking to do better than that. My opponent could block both these by playing parallel to filtered. Great, he leaves my preferred spot alone. I don't have anything in column 12 with the J doubled and the word doubled, so I think it is going to be enjoin. And I've got the S for pluralizing it, and if my opponent plays in column 14, well, he's opening up column 15, and enjoin isn't providing anything particularly juicy with the J. Pretty good. I have Cortels and Sulcate. Sulcate takes a D and only a D. There's a D available in row N, so I have Sulcated in row N. I've got Cortels in column 14 and enjoins. So I'm surely am bingoing. I can't see how both of those can be blocked. Some massive play in row N beginning with the D might just manage that. Sulcated will open up column 1 for a triple-triple, and the S in penultimate place is pretty dangerous. It's available for IEST endings and IST endings. So, is there an alternative bingo available? Well, yes, because I think Eager takes an S, so Cortel's also playable in column 13. However, if column 14 remains available and Sulcated is blocked, I'll play it in column 14. And I may play Cortel's instead of Sulcated, because Cortel's not particularly dangerous, the C not allowing an overlapping play. Well, I guess I'm sticking my A next to the triple word square. So I'm inviting a high-scoring non-bingo play as opposed to a very high-scoring bingo-y play with Sulcated. My opponent, again, spending a while on this move. He's now used up nearly 10 minutes. I've only used up 4 minutes. And I have a lead of about 76 points, which would vanish with a bingo. However, I'm sitting here with a bingo on my rack, so whatever my opponent does, I'm going to regain the lead. Interesting. Okay, so I do have the choice of Cortels and Sulcated. Nothing available in row O, as in Sulcate and Cortels don't play underneath Jar and Oi. Let me see what Cortels scores. 75 and 76 for Sulcated. I think I'm going to go with this play. And that is a pretty awful pickup. But is it bad enough to change? Probably not. Although I can't see anything amazing around the A of Cortels. I can't play from OY across. But with this pickup, I'm quite glad I played Cortels. It invites my opponent to play around here. And I wouldn't like to be on the receiving end of a really big bingo right now, like a triple-triple. Anyway, what can I do here? I do have a scoring tile in the V, but I'd like to play off a lot of these vowels. So the vowels take priority over the V. And I may change. This is looking pretty grim. I'm really not seeing anything. That is just totally rubbish. I've got nothing onto the D. Now, I have auto vac onto a C, were a C to be available. Both Cs have been played. That's not going to happen. Even if one is changing, it's nice to see the highest scoring or the best or alternative play. My opponent does bingo, and that does change things, because I may be able to score enough with this rack not to change. So I have Vatus, 24 points. Well, straight away that is better than changing. I've got the OUS ending. I've got the out prefix. Well, I'm tempted to play Vatus. This is a really great spot for my opponent if I don't play here. But I feel there probably is a better play in column 1. I'm playing off 2 consonants and 2 vowels. Look at this rack leave. It's awful. Still 3 O's to come. But Vatus is better than autos. 9 more points. 14 minutes on the clock. Is there really no play through the S which burns 1 more vowel? There's quite a difference between keeping 3 vowels and 2. Well, not that I can see. I'm going with this. Yep, more grimness, but I have a 90-point lead, so I may be able to work my way through this. Still both blanks to come, and the remaining tiles look fairly bingo-y. And 26 tiles to come. And an open board for floaters, an open board for bingos with the floaters in sternest. But if you take out those floaters in sternest, then it's really just the floating D in filtered and the R in filtered. So I think the priority is the sternest floaters, but R only takes an E after it. And I'm going to struggle with a parallel play with this rack. And with 2 blanks out there, maybe this is the time to change. Keeping AR. Yeah, I think this rack may be just too grim to work through. Still the Z and the X to come. So there could be a high-scoring Z play in row H at the end. So still a lot of action to come in this game. Column 5, a double available. And look at the rack I've got. Horrendous. I really can't do anything great with this rack. I can't do anything good strategically in terms of closing down options for my opponent. Okay, only 30 points. That's quite good in the circumstances. I'm changing. I dodged both blanks, but this rack is a lot better. Through an I would have bigger raid. No I's available. I think I have bandager through the N. Okay, well, both blanks have gone, which is good. 78 points, good. That could have been higher for a double-double. My opponent leads by 17 points. Do I have a bingo with this rack? I don't need a bingo to win. 13 minutes on my clock. There's the floating B, which doesn't look great. There's the floating E, which ordinarily is a really good floater, but it doesn't go that well with this rack unless I've missed something, which does happen sometimes. I can't see anything onto the D. So why don't I play in row H, take out this massive Z spot? Although I note the X is still available, and this is a massive X spot. Although there's only one E to come. And I think that's the only way the X spot can be used. And I've got an E, so I shall hang on to that. So, brag. Keeping a vowel-heavy rack leave, but no A's left and only one E, so I'm not going to duplicate the vowels that I've got. 12 vowels out of 23. A vowel-heavy bag. Can I do better than this? 11 minutes on my clock. What about a play down column 15? Well, maybe that will simply score more. £40 points. Certainly worth doing, and I think this rack leave, well, this is a better rack leave because brag retained the A, and AGE is much better than AAEG, so I'm going with Brad. Not great, I missed the X and the Z. However, I'm not swamped with vowels. My opponent takes out the X spot. I'm only 5 points behind, 10 tiles left. This floating E looks pretty useful, but the remaining tiles aren't bingo-y. The bag at one point did look bingo-y, then my opponent bingoed twice, and now the remaining tiles are not bingo-y, but there are quite a few scoring tiles, Z, X, and K, all out there, and all of those go well with the O's rather. 10 minutes on my clock. I can't see any obvious Z and X spots which I need to block. If I drew the N, I would have mewing in row O. So what about taking out the E? Because either the Z or the X could go on that and get doubled, and then if I'm 40 points behind, I'm in a tricky spot. I've got Orgite on my rack. That's going to score almost nothing. Let me count the vowels again. 9 out of 17. What about playing in column 4 parallel to Brailing? So I could play Taut. £18 points. It doesn't address the E issue. Rack leave not good, keeping an eye when there's 4 to come. 9 minutes on my clock. Gay is good. Geo is good. I'm not seeing anything great through this E. And what I'm really looking to do is simply a play through the E which gets doubled. What about a play? Well, what about playing Gutted? The score is appalling. I am stopping the danger from the E and a play getting doubled. I don't think row O is particularly dangerous. What is bad is the rack leave. And only 10 points, so this is only going to put me 5 points in the lead. It would be nice if I just had a play which was fractionally longer. I don't think gated is good. Let me just check. That's not good. Or guided isn't good. And gutted just doesn't feel good. I can easily see myself ending up with I's and O's. I'm likely to draw I's and O's. Well, rug, 11 points. Ruger, 13. That's bad. It's setting up a Z spot. Well, what about playing Trug? It's tilting the bag, my rack really towards vowelliness, but I'm dealing with a duplicate, although there are no T's left. It scores 3 more points. I think rug takes an A at the end. Yeah, so what Trug does is stop. Well, I was going to say it stops my opponent playing an A there, but I have the last A. I think that's enough for me. I'm going to play rug. I draw one of the danger tiles, but now I do have the A for hooking rug, so I can play wax. I have a twixt on my rack and twixt. So twixt plays in column 2. 8 tiles left. The Z is the danger tile that's out there, and there's still a lot of O's, and Z goes well with O, but I haven't seen any fantastic O spots. There's Zoo and Ob, 26 points. And at the moment, we're neck and neck, only six points between us. Now, what would be dangerous is my opponent playing snoozed, which is a possibility. I think that would win the game for him. Certainly, if I play wax, that's going to take out that danger. But do I have a play in row N which gets the X tripled, or simply a play in row N starting on the double word square? I don't think I do. So I think snoozed is the danger. Anyway, 4 minutes on my opponent's clock. I think if he had snoozed, he would have played it. It's such a good score. Wow, he changes. I guess he must have been swamped with O's and I's. But that's really, really good news. So wax for 31 is going to put me into a 37-point lead. Ruger does take an E, but I don't think I need to worry about that, because any play in row N will open row O, and there's just nothing massive in row N, even if my opponent has the Z. So I think this puts me into a reasonably strong position. And I can't see a better play in row M, and I do need to take out the snoozed danger. I guess I could play waxed in row N. But I don't think that's a better play. Well, remaining tiles quite a nice selection, but it's the board that's limiting. The floating E still available in Sternest, but the remaining tiles are not bingo. It's possible there might be a bingo onto that E, but it's unlikely. Just 3 minutes on my opponent's clock and 4 on mine. I think the best I can do in row N is Hoe, H-O-E. 23 points. I don't have any extension of Mew. Mewing is the only one I've spotted. Column 4 must be attractive for my opponent to play Zoo, Ob and Or. But 5 tiles left. The Z could be in the bag. And Zoon also available in that spot. Opponent plays Nook. Interesting, and Nook takes an S at the front. My opponent actually could have iodizes, but there's nowhere for that. But that's a good score for him, 30 points. He's only 7 points behind, and he's probably got the Z. It's likely that the I is in the bag, and I've already got a couple of those. And I've only got 4 minutes to decide what to do. And I'm not going to play Ho, keeping 2 I's. It would be nice to play High Oi, but I can't see anywhere for that. K takes an O in front. So my opponent could play Size for a big score. Or takes a T in front. Ob takes an H in front. Only 3 minutes on my clock. This is a very tricky situation. Is there a way of setting up something nice for me and only me at the bottom of the board? I don't think so. So what about playing Hoi? It's playing off an I. It's taking out a high-scoring Z spot. It's scoring 16 points, and the rack leave is balanced. I do draw an I. I've only got a lead of 23 points. My opponent could have 2 goes, and I'll only have 1. He does have iodizes. Nowhere for it. I guess I could have played High Oi where I've played Hoi. But anyway, that's for another time. Tighty and not good. I've got nothing which goes underneath the W. T goes after OB. Tit and tight are both good. I'm just going to struggle to score very much. I've got tight and pat, 10 points. But my opponent should be able to score more than 33 points with this rack. 1 point in my favour is the shortage of time. He doesn't have a lot of time to come up with the top plays, and there are no obvious Z spots. I guess he could just play Z for 33 points. Okay, he's played 37 points, a huge score. I can't go out in 1. He hasn't provided anything new for me. And I'm 14 points behind. But look, my opponent has got EII. He probably can't go out in 1. I think I'm going to have 2 goes. I'm thinking about playing Zitty for 13 because I can guarantee going out with ET. It's providing nothing for my opponent. I've only got 1 minute left. It's not blocking anything from my opponent, apart from I'd rather than id. So why don't I play edit? Because that will score more. 18 points would take me to 381, a 4-point lead. And then I should be able to go out with IT. Unless I've overlooked a big out for my opponent, but I don't think I have time to look for that out and block it. Except I am looking for it right now. I can't see an out for him. He can't use the Z. 1 minute on my clock. Do I have 2 places for... I have TI and high. I have it and tie. Okay, so I can go out. Okay, I'm playing edit. I have a 4-point lead. Is it going to be enough? So I need to look for the best it spot or tie spot. Orbit is good. 5 points. 7 points for tie and high. Tid, 6 points. It, 13 points. So my opponent may play XI for 9. 386. But where was my 6-point play? Well, that was Tid. 45 seconds on my opponent's clock. If he plays just XI, I could play Wit for 6. TI, 7 points. TI and Pat. But can my opponent do something better than XI? He can't. So, 48 seconds left. My opponent leads by 5. So, TI here scores 7. Which is enough. Great. So, the final score is 386 to my opponent, 392 to me. A winning margin of 6 points. So, great to win the game. Very, very close game. Let's see what I missed. And maybe see if my opponent had a win at the end as well. That was really tight. So, opponent to start, he plays the vid. Great, I don't miss a bingo. I didn't see pre-op, I think that would have been better. Yep, getting both P's tripled, but Poep was in the mix, and red is a better rack lead than DE. Possibly not 7 points better, though. Not a nice rack for my opponent. He plays Fauna. Wow, there was a bingo here through the V. A bingo using B, C, and V. There must be very few of those. Bed cover, 71 points. Well done if you spotted that. I didn't. And I played beer for 29. Now, opponent's rack. He plays Hayam. And coughed, F12, and pack. Okay, quite nice. Yeah, it's 4 fewer points than block, but it's a better rack leave. Opponent plays Sank. And I have filtered, which was the only bingo. Not a great rack for my opponent. He plays Eager. And I play Enjoin. Nice rack for my opponent, but not nice enough. He plays AY. And now I have Cortels and Sulcated. Opponent plays Sternest, and this was a tricky spot. And I went with Vatus for 24. Okay, Avos for 21, worth considering as well, because it doesn't keep a duplicate vowel and it keeps a consonant. But Vatu's not far off being best. Nothing, no massive miss there. Opponent's rack, he plays Mew. I have a dreadful rack. I change here, and I think changing is the right thing to do. Although 25 points is nice, 4 vowels is horrendous. So I change. Opponent has both blanks. Plays Brailing, brings him right back into the game. He's now leading by 17 points. Barraged. Wow, through the R of Brailing. Okay, well, that just fits in. Well done if you spotted that. What did I do? I played Brad for 40, which is 22 fewer points. So it's a worse play than Barrage, but it's not an absolutely tragically much worse play. Opponent plays Yo, and this was a rack I agonised over. And look at that, nothing over 20 points. And in the end, I went with Rug for 11. Yeah, and I considered Taught, but that left this E alone, and Rug interfered with the E. But look at my opponent's rack. This is when he changed. I don't blame him. And now I play Wax, but Waxia F12. Making Poor as well. Very nice. But I wanted to take out this snoozed spot, and Wax does that. Opponent's rack, he plays Nook. And now I'm in a tricky spot. And I don't play Ho. The likelihood is that there's an I in the bag. I play Hoy. It didn't feel great. And this was my opponent's rack. He has iodizes. And he needs to go out in 2. And he plays Doze for 37, keeping E-double-I, which means he can't. But what if he'd played Doze at E3? For more points, could he have gone out with IIS? Possibly not. However, if he'd played Dozier at F12 and Pad, he would have got 32 points, 372, a 9-point lead, and he would definitely have gone out with IS, and he would have definitely won. So I think he did have a win there. He plays Zoes, and I have an out, G2. G2. Wow. Titty through the T of Sternest was an outplay. I didn't see that, and that would have won even against Dozier. So my opponent didn't miss a win with Zoes. So I play Edit. Opponent doesn't have an out. The best he could do is Ayuri for 13. Interesting. Is that enough? Ayuri, High, and me for 13 takes my opponent to 390, a 9-point lead. He loses 2 on countback. I need to score 7 to draw, 8 to win. Well, I do win because I play It and Chi. So at this point, the game is won. And he plays XI. And I have It for 9 points, which I didn't play. I played TI for 7, but it was enough to get me over the line. So a very close game. Well done again to my opponent for running me so close. Just have one more quick look at his picture. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And that brings up, I think, the 600th game, which has come upon me quite quickly since the 500th one. I think possibly with a few more vlogs in the mix. But it's fun making these videos, and I hope you enjoy this one and continue to enjoy these games and the vlogs that I put up on this channel.